Buenas tardes. Mi nombre Philip Shepherd, President of New Zealand Herefords. It is an honour to be here today to present the New Zealand report. But firstly, I would like to thank Uruguay for hosting this event and their hospitality over the week, and compliment them on the great lineup of cattle that we've seen out there yesterday and we will see in the show ring tomorrow. Firstly, and many of you will know this lady. Jan was World Secretary General from 2004 to 12, and last year she was awarded the Order of Merit by the New Zealand Government for her services to Herefords and the wider beef industry. Here she is seen receiving her award from the Governor-General, our Head of State. Today I will present to you some facts, as everybody has, an overview of the situation in New Zealand, and some thoughts for the future and what we are doing to guarantee our future in the market. Firstly, New Zealand, for those of you that are not aware, is basically two islands in the South Pacific, not far from Australia. The beef and dairy and sheep are spread fairly well throughout the island. 71% of beef cattle are in the North Island, however. As you can see from this graph, dairying over the last 10 years has grown significantly, while sheep and beef numbers have declined by a similar rate. Hereford numbers, registered females, are currently at 18,500. That includes 4,000 heifers, and are fairly static with 259 breeding members. Of those 259, we have 4 herds over 500, but the majority under 100 cows per member. In the wider beef industry, 34% are Angus and 24% are of Hereford origin, with a total of about 4 million beef cattle. What have we done to adapt with the changing land uses? The Herefords are more commonly seen back in the hills now than what they were 10 years ago. And we've got into the dairy industry in a big way. The current number required for the dairy industry of beef bulls has been estimated at 35,000 bulls a year. And with 18,000 females, the most we can hope to provide is 9. So there's a big deficit there in bulls. We do supply, however, 75% of that industry of bulls or AI are Herefords. They get the free sire marker, the white face advantage, which I see our English friends have also use as their tagline. There's the docility, very important in the dairy industry in New Zealand, because there are a lot of staff that are untrained and you can't have bush bulls roaming around. The bulk of them, especially the ones that the association members provide, are performance recorded. Bulls with calving ease, low birth weight and shorter gestation. They provide an early cash flow. As of last week when we left home, 4-day-old calves were making up to $300. That is by a performance bull, compared to a bush bull or just a run-of-the-mill bull, $40 bobby calf. So with the downturn in dairying, the dairy farmers are realising the benefits of using quality genetics. and that demand continues throughout the supply chain. The price varies from about $1,500 to $2,500 on average for a yearling bull in New Zealand for the dairy industry, and higher for those that manage to sell registered yearling bulls for breeding those sires. Our other market, as many of you have, is the hybrid vigor with the black cow producing the black baldy, and it's widely known that there's at least a 20 kg advantage in that hybrid vigor, and I have to say that the Angus breeders of New Zealand are using Herefords more than what they have in recent years for that advantage, and because of the fact, I guess, that cows are in harder conditions and some of the exotics don't handle those as well. The third area that the breed is used, of course, is the stud industry, the seed stock industry, where the higher genetic bulls are sold in the last few years, varying from 20 to 70,000 for the top price bulls. These bulls in the slide here are at our national sale held annually in May, and these particular mob of bulls are all unled. They've been brought in 6 months prior from their farms and run on a test farm as one mob, and they all go out into the seed stock industry, average of $8,000 to $9,000 in the last couple of years for those bulls. So what are we doing to ensure our strengthening position in the market going forward? We are guaranteeing quality. We've introduced the H tag, the True Blue Hereford tag, call it what you will, but it denotes a registered Hereford bull as opposed, or heifer for that matter, but particularly bulls, as opposed to bush bulls, the commercial bulls. In New Zealand, the bulk of Hereford bulls, regardless of registered or not, commercial, are kept entire because of the need, as I mentioned before, in the dairy industry. So to guarantee our members an advantage, we've introduced the tag that is specifically for registered Hereford cattle. We have our consumer brand, Hereford Prime, the longest running brand in New Zealand. It's been in operation for 20 years now. It's known in the market for its unrivaled quality and consistency. It's 100% grass-fed, and it's based on specifications. It has to be 50% Hereford, but long as the grading, it comes up to the grading qualifications, it's eligible for the market. We're also involved in 2 progeny tests. One with 2,000 cows. We've just done the second mating, and that is to trial the performance bulls against average bulls and prove their worth to the beef industry. Those cattle will be followed throughout their lives. The males will be killed at 2.5 years old, and the females followed through till about 5-year-old. The dairy one was started this last season, just the first mating. There was 700 dairy cows mated to Hereford and Angus bulls, 50-50. 200 heifers were mated to 4 Hereford bulls and 4 Angus yearling bulls. These bulls were picked for their calving ease, low birth weight, and reasonably short gestation, while having a reasonable above average growth rate. And it is estimated that the value to the New Zealand beef industry is in excess of $61 million if we can use higher genetic bulls and get more growth, or in other words, use curve bending bulls.
Sorry, just 1 minute more.
Thank you. In conclusion, the beef breed in New Zealand, or the Hereford breed in New Zealand, I think the future is bright. We have our Youth Ambassador program where we annually exchange with Australia. We have quite a big program in New Zealand as well. We have the future beef for our younger generation. They're all coming forward, and the breed will be in good hands long after we've all gone. Finally, I would like to thank you all, or thank the delegates this morning, for the opportunity for us to host the 2020 World Hereford Conference. And I look forward to seeing you all. Get there. Just a shot of Herefords in New Zealand. And there we are at where the conference will be in 2020. I look forward to seeing you all there. Muchas gracias.